live in 3 counties that don't have a stoplight. Kind of a crazy thing. I tell people that and they're going, really? Or I tell people that, I live next to a town that's got 300 people and they're going, how do you make that work? And I'm going, hey, I've lived that way all my life. It has its challenges, to go get parts and go get things. We've got to drive 50 miles just to go do one thing. I tell people just to go see a movie, you got to drive 100 miles. You learn to live with it, and it's you walk outside like last night and the coyotes are howling. People that never lived out here think this is the greatest life in the world, and we do too, but it has its challenges. Some days that you wonder why, but most of the time it's great. It's just a good deal.
I enjoy the most that we can still be a family. That's very important, and I don't think the bigger farms do that anymore. If you can keep it all in the family, it just runs so much smoother and is just a good way to keep it passing on the traditions and things that we've worked so hard for.
Family is a major thing for me. Watching these 2 nephews of mine grow up, and 3 nephews really, and these 2 that are really involved in farming, it's really rewarding to see that they wanted to be here. And second, that is a good thing. There's not many young farmers left in this country, and to get them started and them keeping this farm going is going to be a great thing for them and hopefully their children down the road. So,
growing up being around the farm, we were out here a lot, riding 4-wheelers, playing. We learned the value of hard work at a young age, and hopefully we can instill that in our kids. And they've already been out here a lot and helping and just being around us and kind of seeing how we do things. I think it's going to be great, and hopefully if we're lucky enough, they'll want to come back and maybe farm too.
It has been so special to see my boys getting to grow up with those older generations of great-grandpa and uncle and grandpa. It's those people that can really instill values and morals and work ethics, and our boys look up and admire them, and it's been a blessing to have them in our lives for sure.
I think, as you say, the work ethic, because they learn to do a lot of different things that they can carry on through life with.
I just want my kids to grow up and have a good, strong work ethic and just life out here on the farm. I just don't think I'd trade it for anything else, and I think it's a great way to live.
Everything has changed. It's entirely different. I started with horses, so you can see we had to hitch up a buggy to clean out the barn, and then I plowed with 3 horses on a sulky plow, so you can see the changes I've made.
The most memorable things is I used to run all the tractors, pretty much do anything that the guys could do. But then once I had kids, I had to learn how to cook, darn it. And no, that's okay, but I was just out here a lot, and I knew everything about the farm, and I could talk about it with the best. And so I felt like that was important.
Growing up on the farm, there's always something to do, and we get to have a lot of different experiences that most kids don't ever get to. And I think it's a great way to grow up, and it's exciting to see my nephews get to experience the same things that me and my brothers did growing up too.
Well, the livestock really hasn't changed too much. You fix fence, you put up hay, you calve out cows, you work them and put them back to grass. I think that's stayed pretty much the same. Everything else has changed a lot.
The thing I dread the most is working cattle. I always have to push the calves through the chute and usually get kicked a few times and shit on and pissed on and whatever else.
There's a lot of people that don't have family, to turn the farm over, or they don't do it, and you worked all so hard, to get this thing built up to where it is now. It'd be, I don't know really why you would strive to make it any better if you didn't have family to turn it over to. That means a lot, that's just what it is, it's family is what this place operates on, and it's really good.
You worked all your life, and you don't want to see it just gone, so it's passed on. I guess that's the biggest thing about it.
It's enjoyable to me to see this because I grew up here on the farm, and I spent a ton of time with my grandparents and cousins. Even some cousins lived with us, and so it's important for me that my kids saw the same thing, and now our grandkids to grow up with the same kind of life.
Having 4 generations or 5 generations out in the field during harvest, it's exciting, and it doesn't happen very often. My grandpa's 90 years old and still driving the combine, and I don't know anyone else that can really say that.
Well, I think Cleo's really built a really awesome thing here for us and our kids, and it's really fun to see him enjoy his great grandkids now, and it's really important for our kids to see him, even in his 90s, to working as hard as, our guys in their 30s, and that they'll be part of that someday too.
My father-in-law, my brother-in-law, and me, we're the old technology. We don't have the high-tech stuff here. And it's not easy for us, but our kids, it's easy. I can see that. And when my oldest boy got out of college, he wanted to run the planter. Well, I had an auto steer-in tractor for 1 year. Went around the field, did all that, let him get in the seat and start driving back and forth. And thought to myself, well, I just got out of the tractor and never got back in. So took off. He understood it better. I let him do it.
I think it's important to have the older generations because they have a lot more knowledge. They've been around. They've seen some things that we haven't yet. We're pretty young. And the younger people, we have the technology now. They don't know much about that, but it all kind of blends together.
I think it's important to have multiple generations on the farm just because you're learning from other people's experiences. They've been here, they've been doing it in different times, different conditions. So it's a wealth of knowledge to get information from and help you make decisions going forward.
The average age of a farmer now is in the mid-60s, If you don't have that younger generation, I don't know what, you're liable to have corporate farms and, you know, if you can get these younger people to come out here, it's a lot better, you know, and a non-corporate farm, and I'm talking about a big farm, just works a lot better.
I feel like coming out here after growing up in the city, it's beautiful, the hills, the pastures, the stars. It's a breath of fresh air with all the open spaces.
So I didn't grow up on a farm, so being accustomed to farm life now has been a change. But I love the culture, I love the traditions, and just trying to embrace all the family and the generations and the history has been fun.
Well, it took a lot of adjustment moving out here and just getting used to being away from everything, and it wasn't easy, but I wouldn't trade our life for anything now. Our kids are so lucky that they get to be a part of this, and we're so lucky we get to be a part of this. You just have to be a lot more prepared for things that you're not ready for, I guess.
So being a part of this, and over the last several years, some of the things that stand out to me the most are the late nights harvesting in the fields, taking supper to the guys, having the kids out there, having the kids out here at the shop, being able to work with their dad, four-wheeler rides, and just being a part of all the seasons, whether it's calving or planting, that they can be involved.
I think just being part of something that's bigger than yourself, and how many years Cleo's been doing this and everything he's built, and you know, all the guys working together, when it's Larry's farm, Sam's, Jerry's, Ben's, Nate comes back, and it's just a lot of fun to see them all work together, and our kids to get to ride along, and they always take the time to, you know, it might slow them down a little bit to stop the combine or the tractor to let them in to ride, but they love doing it, and they love having them along with them. And I think it's just fun when we go camp in the field, like we take our toys and our food and we sit there for all day, and the kids just love it. They'll play in the dirt for hours.
I feel like joining a multi-generational family, it's really special how they all work together, and I look forward to, if me and Nate ever have kids, to bring them out here and to have them be a part of and get to see what farming is like.
You know, as a kid growing up working hard, sometimes I wasn't always happy about it, but now I realize that it is so important. And it's a thing that's lost this day and age, I feel, is knowing how to work hard. And so I hope that that gets passed down, and that they have the love for the farm that we all have had.
I think it's important to still have family-run farms or generational farms, just because it's just going to be a better product overall. I think there's a lot of value to the product. People truly care about it. Things are going to be raised the way they should be, and it's just going to be a better way to handle things.